I never thought that I would hit my limit with sugar. I mean, you're telling me what now? I would never use the word limit and sugar in the sentence together. What am I, crazy? I used to think that like a dozen donuts was like just like a normal thing. Like that's a base requirement. Like how many are you getting? All of them. I'm going to eat all of them. Family size should totally be, when you get like a family size bag of candy, should just be renamed me size, right? Like I would inject sugar into my veins if I could. When I was a kid, I would bring like 6 sodas just to class. Crack of dawn. I'd imagine you're sitting in class, you don't want to be there, it's way too early in the morning, and you look over at this jittery kid who has 2 cans of Coca-Cola sitting on their desk at 6 a.m. Either that kid knows something or there's an issue. And I'm telling you right now, issue. But I met my limit with sugar the other day in liquid form. I drank something that had so much sugar in it. The moment I drank it, you couldn't even taste flavor, right? It was just pure, just hypertension in the face. My eyes started tingling. I'd never I could feel my individual eyeballs doing something. It was not okay. My brain was sending out vibrations, okay? At one point, my girlfriend tried to explain to me like how much sugar was in this thing that I drank, and while she was as I was trying to process what she was saying, I saw inside my own brain. Somehow I stepped outside myself, looked inside my brain, and saw a hamster running at the speed of light inside a hamster wheel. And I'm going, what is going on? And while that's happening, my girlfriend is going, oh, so on like an ingredients label, those labels that tell you a bunch of things that you have no idea that makes up what's inside of what you're consuming. They list it from most used to least used, and and she was looking at it, and the drink literally had water as the first ingredient, and then sugar as the second ingredient. And I about near slapped the earth with so much energy. I was like, what am I going to do about this hamster? I mean, no one's going to believe it. Is seeing, I don't even know if I could see anymore. I had people fly in. Everywhere has kind of like a landmark. Like, oh, come here. We have the biggest ball of yarn you've ever seen. And on the surface, you're like, I'm not driving to the biggest ball of yarn. And then somehow you wind up there and you see it and you kind of go, hey, impressive. That is a giant ball of yarn, but what are we doing here? And some places has actual like things that you can see, like visuals, like the Grand Canyon or, Las Vegas, right? But out here we have mountains. You can see mountains all day long, right? From one side to the other, there's mountains. There's also a lot of nothing, but there's mountains, okay? Imagine like trying to drive to Vegas at night and they turned off all the lights. You just drive right through. You just be in the desert. Where is this? Where is this place? So imagine these people are like, whoa, I see the mountains. This is going to be really cool to see when I'm not flying way up in the sky, right? Because you can see a lot of things up in the sky. They land, they saw no mountains. I don't know what kind of cloudy behavior, weather, shut down all visuals of. I can see mountains all the time, and I can't see very well. So for me to be hyping up mountains, and then for people to land and see no mountains, it was driving me crazy. I was trying to like dream up mountains places. I was like, you have to believe me, guys. I mean, you saw them from up there. They're here somewhere. Okay. Anywhere we would drive, I go, now normally when we were driving, you could see mountains. I was doing everything to convince myself at this point that there were mountains. I got so desperate, I started showing them paintings of mountains. I said, hey, look, you couldn't draw that if you didn't see that in some form, shape, or other. So if that's real, these mountains are real, and I'm telling you, one day we're gonna see them. Sometimes before finishing processing a thought, my mouth shudders out words, and we were cruising along, and I saw what I perceived as a beautiful lake with some trees, some shrubbery, as they would say. It was no mountain, but I figured at this point, nature is the only thing I'm gonna sell these people on. And so I go, oh, look, a lake. And as lake finished hitting my ear from my mouth, I realized that I was looking at a white picket fence. It gets worse. At a park. I know. In a residential area. Wait for it. I was driving. I mean, what kind of psychosis was going? What was in that drink? Maybe that is really what I got to figure out, because, you know, the nature sometimes is all around and then it's gone. And, you know, I was trying to look at a bird, any sort of animal. I was like, maybe I got to get a pet, because at least if I have a pet, I can go, hey, look, that's from outside, right? Like something. Without skipping a beat, the person that couldn't see these mountains also goes, "Oh, I have a pet snake." A pet what? Snake. And without skipping a beat, they double down. They go, I got 4 of them. You have 4 snakes? What do you mean you have 4 snakes? What are you, living in an ancient tomb guarding the jewels of, you know, insert whatever mythological event you want to add for them fancy jewels where snakes hide out? Because anytime you go in and discover a treasure, there's snakes. I'm just saying. And I'm going, no, you don't just casually say, I have a pet snake. Pet snakes aren't pets, right? I mean, are they? Or they're dinosaurs. I mean, I feel like anything with scales or slithers or has like fangs is like a dinosaur dragon hybrid, belongs tens of thousands of years ago. Doesn't belong around here, folks. I knew someone that had an iguana, and I swear that thing was going to sprout wings and breathe fire and cook me like a roasted chicken. So I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Have they ever bitten you? Again, well, why are they so, the casualness of the way that it was spoken was just like, yeah, I got bitten once or twice, but it wasn't their fault. Like, they tried to defend the snake. I go, it's fangs, man. Like, I don't want the if a swan bit me, okay, that swan is out of here. All right, I'm not like doing anything harmful to the swan. It just can no longer live in my vicinity if it bit me. Okay, when something bites me, I think I'm out. So I had to know what these things eat. Dead rats. That threw me into next week. When I heard that hit the old eardrum, the process of information shattered me. I was like, wait a minute, they eat dead rat. Where do you find dead rats? Like, are you going to some back alley and killing them yourself? And then they go, no. What? I know a guy. And I go, you know a guy that kills them in a back alley where there's rats? I mean, where are you getting these? And why are they... I mean, don't you want a live rat? And you go, no, you don't want live rats. Oh, what is with the live? Why, you don't want to give them a fighting chance? No, apparently a live rat will, like, infest the snake's eyeballs and eat out its face or something crazy like that. I don't know. I heard a bunch of words that terrified me, and I was like, I don't want to know what's happening anymore. I had to see if this was real, because it turns out you can just go to like a pet store, maybe not any pet store, and just get a dead rat. The amount of how many dead rats does it take to feed 4 snakes? There's a math equation I don't want to solve. I walked into a store, I was like, we gotta figure this out. And so I walked in and And I didn't want to ask the people at the front because I was like, this is not a typical question. You don't walk into a place and go, where can I find the dead rats? That's a negative. I thought you'd have to go to the back, right? And just ask somebody who, like, maybe kind of works there, looks a little shady. You know, like anytime you don't have the full information to something, you can just pass on the buck, like, you don't want to talk to me. You want to talk to that guy, okay? Um, every now and again, you could be like, you want to go talk to a guy named Hank. Or you guys just make something up because you don't know the information. So I walk in the back to try and find who has. I couldn't go through with it. I wound up looking at fishes. I was like, maybe I should get a fish. Fish are pleasant. I needed something to 180 rewrite the script on whatever was happening. And so I started looking at fishes. And I was like, oh, these are wonderful. Look at all them playing together, swimming around. And then I saw some fish hanging out by their lonesome. And I was like, wow, these guys, they got nowhere to go. They're by themselves. Oh, you don't have those fish hang out with other fish. I go, why? Why don't we let fish hang out with other fish? Those guys are hanging out there. Oh, because those fish will destroy slash, you know, other fish. I go, is there no place just safe and pleasant anymore? Maybe I do got to get a hamster. So instead of getting pet, I just went outside. I was like, maybe we can just go into nature, see something. I can't do this anymore. And so we went out into nature, and it was peaceful. You want a break from the hustle and bustle? Walk yourself out into nature. You'll hear the crickets creak. Which, surprisingly, when you're outside of nature listening to peace, those types of noises don't bother you as much as if you were in your home. If you're in your home and you hear those noises, uh, call everybody, because that noise has to stop. But when you're outside, oh, it was so peaceful. And for the first time, I saw my girlfriend at total peace. She doesn't like the outdoors very much. In fact, when she asked me to go to the outdoors, I took her to a park. Right? Because I was like, there's no way she means the real outdoors. She means like just outside. So I took her to a park and she goes, this is not what I wanted. I go, this is what you wanted. And I saw some like water over in the distance. I was like, let's walk over there. And we started just walking around a picnic bench. There was no trail or anything. I literally was like, there's something. People were at the picnic bench. We literally just walked around a picnic area because I thought there would be a trail. And when you have to be like, no, follow me. And people clearly are like, that guy doesn't know what's happening. I go, I know what's happening. And I just kept walking around until I made a complete circle and went, well, walk's over, And she goes, no, let's go an actual like trail. So I went trail. We're walking around and I see these beautiful, massive homes. And I thought instantly, that's gotta be a vacation home. Nobody lives in a house that size. Especially like on a lake. It was very nice and peaceful. And so while my girlfriend was enjoying her peaceful moment, I interrupted with my nonsense and went, oh look, vacation homes. I want one of those. She goes, Nick, and you're in trouble when they use your first name, right? Like when they say the first name, that means listen up because you haven't been listening this whole time. That's usually my indication that I've missed a whole lot of information. And she goes, we're in the middle of nowhere. Like it's not like we drove somewhere like fancy. Like I just kind of just typed in trails and drove somewhere not that far away. And so we live in the middle of nowhere. Why would they be vacation homes and not just homes? And again, I had to homes. Hello there. Hey, look at this little tree we got going on. Because the only thing to do at that moment, I like to do the old bait and switch, right? Because saying anything else along those terms is a no bueno for you. So I decide in those moments to say something that has nothing to do with anything. It's a shot in the dark, and it could, backfire because then they go, what the, what? I thought we were talking about something. Luckily, though, the bugs ate us like it was lunch. Like it was lunch. There's nothing else. We were eaten alive. I'm telling you right now, the bug, and you don't feel the bug bites for whatever reason. They're everywhere. You're swatting and this and that, and they're like, you're not doing anything to me. And somehow afterwards, like we got in the car once we were safe from the outdoors. Oh my goodness. The poison from the bug bites just erupted. The irritation, I'm telling you, you get this phantom itch. It doesn't matter. Like it creeps in your brain. I've really come to realize that bugs, or the creepy crawlies, play psychological warfare with all aspects of their lives. Okay? Because the bug bites, they don't hurt. You don't really feel them until after the fact. And they just start like burning, and they're irritating, and they cause this like phantom itch. And then like everything you think of is about the bug. Like every movement, like my girlfriend can't stretch her leg because stretching her leg causes the bug bite to go, hey, I'm here. And you're like, what kind of mind games are these? I mean, it's bad enough that while you're walking out in peace, you're trying to swat things and you look like you're swatting air, and they're just, and all you can hear, you can just hear them. That's how they get you. There's buzzing because you can't swat. They're and they're just causing you great psychological pain, right? And so it was to the point where you start looking up how to solve the problem. Like, how do I get rid of all of these symptoms? So Google, right? Bug bite home remedies. Oh, the worst suggestion came up. Two things that my girlfriend doesn't like: the outdoors. Actually, after the bug bites, she might really not like the outdoors. And like cold is like ice. I'm a big fan of an ice pack, right? Any ailment, sore, stubbed toe, my eyeball hurts. I'm like, I'm getting an ice pack because maybe that'll help something. Suggesting an ice pack to her, I might as well just whack myself in the face with a door. Or like better yet, like when you put a rake, when you step on a rake and that pole just comes up and slaps you, might as well just do that instead. But I was in such disbelief of what was happening with my own bug bites that she goes, "What am I going to do?" I go, "Ice pack." And then again, moment the words left, my brain finished processing, going, "Oh no, red flag, don't offer that." She accepted it. That's when when you have zero other options, you might do the thing that you don't want to do. And with that, I gotta go put some ice packs in the freezer. So, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.